But this show right here is an interesting one. This is a group of people, basically advanced cheerleading. It's called bunking. And we've got some people tossing people. The people that are being tossed are called flyers. Makes sense. The people that toss the flyers are called porters. Makes sense too. If you see the young lady flying through the air right there, that's something important to see. There's a guy being tossed in CAHPERD as well. There's 2 female flyers. I've taken an inset picture of them right here. And if you look at them, they're about 112 pounds, and they look physically identical. The one on the left is a US national team gymnast who we stole from gymnastics and got put into the circus world. And interestingly enough, the one on the right-hand side looks identical to her, does all the same tricks, would be double twisting, double backflips from the hands of 2 gentlemen and into the hands of 2 more gentlemen. And they do the same act together. The one on the right is 58. That's called durability. And why I'm saying this to you, it's a very important thing. Circus teaches me a lot about physical literacy, because if physical literacy is a journey but not a destination, the actual destination might be circus. The circus people like me saying that, give me hearts. But in the end of the day, she's 58. And durability is something we need to understand, and physical literacy creates durable people, which is what we want for all population. You're going to be told by osteoporosis societies and things like that, that as you go past 30 years of age, a healthy, so-called healthy Canadian or healthy American will result in a decrease in bone mass 1 to 2% per year, every year after 30. And if you're a postmenopausal female, it'll drop by 2 to 4% per year. Now I'm going to show you something about durability, and this isn't selling circus, this is selling physical literacy, which is what we create as physical educators. This is, we scan all the performers, every single inch of their body 4 times a year. I do that. We do bone density, fat mass, muscle mass, lean body mass. We do 3-dimensional models of every part of them. In the end of the day, what we're able to do is show you something that is an astounding bit of information that is hope. And here it is. I measured the bone mass in all 1,000 performers worldwide in Cirque du Soleil, and you can actually see here, in blue is the girls, in green is the boys. And I've stripped out the younger performers that are 6 years of age, maybe 12, and I've taken away some of the 70 or 80-year-old performers that we have, all the way, but I've taken 20 to 65, the active people on stage. And what you can see here, and is a very important thing, that bone mass actually does not change with age. This is the first time ever to demonstrate data like this. They do 240 minutes a week of moderate vigorous. Kids is 420, that's what we want, 60 minutes a day times 7 days a week. We as adults is 5 times a week times 30 minutes. They're not at kid level, they're above the minimum, but because of what they do, they're not freaks. Because of what they do, they keep bodies. Their lean body mass stays with them for basically till 65. For males and females, that's hope. That's something that is a very positive thing that we can think about, and that's something that we do as physical educators. We contribute to a physically literate culture. It takes a community to raise a physically literate child. We are a very key piece of that community. I'm going to show you another little thing that I'm very lucky to be able to do. This is a young male. He's 21 years of age. He's got reasonable balance. He's got okay kind of strength. His flexibility is somewhat okay. We get flat splits in 6 months at Cirque du Soleil. That's our job. And because if you can't make beautiful lines like that and have a great core, I design all the core training programs for all of Cirque du Soleil. We have level 1 to 14, and I'm going to share that with you today because that's something important. We actually deliver the level 1 core in kindergarten. And I'm going to share it with you. I asked the vice president of Cirque du Soleil, can I release this? And he said, absolutely not. I said, can I leak it? And he said, sure. So here's the leak. This is the core progression document, level 1, level 2, level 3. You can see the Google, if you want to click that, you can take this right now. It's a downloadable interactive PDF. If you click on the image of the person, you'll see the actual activity. Level 1 core, level 2 core, level 3. We don't release 4 and above. By the way, the young gentleman that you saw doing the handstand work, he's level 8 out of 14. So in the end of the day, you can download this, and what's really vital for you to understand in this room, if you make a physically literate person, they get fit. If you make a fit person, they may not get physical literacy. And I'm a strength and conditioning person, but at the end of the day, physical literacy has taught me how to enrich core beyond strength and endurance. Those are really important concepts. Physical literacy is really about brain training and muscle training at the same time, and I'll talk you through that. This is our culture right here. It's an amazing culture, isn't it? Thank you. Thank goodness for Tinder. I'm joking. I don't even know what that is. But this is the United States data. This is measured physical activity with an accelerometer. And what Troiano did, a military folk, he measured about 6,000 Americans, and he found how many Americans actually meet the physical activity criteria. Less than 48% of boys under puberty do, and sadly, 34% of girls meet that. Why is there a difference between boys and girls under the age of puberty when the sex difference doesn't really exist? That's an important thing. Physical literacy has given us the answer. I'm going to show you that today, why that occurs. Young women drop to 3% levels of physical activity after puberty. That is a horrendous crime. 1 in 3 Canadian females die from heart attack and stroke. The wedge is created in grade 4, both the United States, Canada, and even Sweden. If you look at this data right now, this is your data from 2008. Canadian data in 2014, our Canadian data surpassed this in the wrong direction. The United States and Canada are on railway tracks that are going to hit a wall. Our future's bleak unless we fix this. The new health of Americans and Canadians is phys ed, recreation, sport, and performance arts. It is. Thank you. It's not healthcare. Healthcare is illness care, and I'm all about that. But at the end of the day, it's critical to understand in this day and age, we need to fund health, and health is you. So we need to fix this model because of a whole bunch of reasons. This is data from my lab. The 7 people on top, I've sliced through their femurs with a computer tomography. See the seven femurs there? Those are inactive kids, 21 young adults, 21 years of age. They're totally gamers. That's all they do. The bottom, the person below the number 1 is the same age, sex, as the person above them, but they meet the physical activity standards, which is rare. So the top is rare, the bottom is rare, but that's the range. You don't need to be a scientist to see the top bones are terrible. They're being eaten from the inside out. That's called industrial resorption. The bones are circular rather than kind of triangular shape. It takes density and architecture to make good bones, not just good density. You can make a bad house out of a good brick. In the end of the day, the bones on top are irrecoverable. There's nothing that all the king's men can do. There's no science, there's no exercise, there's no drug that can fix those bones. None. And 25% of your bone mass is laid down during the growth spurt, and that occurs from 11 to 12, 13 years of age, when our physical activity is dropping like an egg onto the ground. You think we have fragile skeletons now? The future is bleak. This is Canadian data. Obesity from 1972, the Munich Olympics, 9% of Canadians were obese. And through every single one of our governments, which we have liberal and conservative governments in our country, no government has made a change in that trajectory. You're shifted up 3% from this line exactly. In 45 years, you went from 9% to 27%, you're at 33. At the end of the day, China has tripled its obesity rates in 5 years. Tripled, because they're becoming Americanized, Canadianized. In the end of the day, no government has made a change in this trajectory, and to believe that we can actually reduce this in any way, shape, or form without serious money funding you is ridiculous. We can't just say eat well and exercise regularly. Promotion doesn't work. We need provision. You're the providers. In Canada, this is the population from 0 to 100 years of age. We've got 35 million Canadians. You're exactly 10 times larger than us. In the end of the day, the red on this graph is all the people with type 2 diabetes. It's 10% of our population, just like yours. By the time my son retires in 2063, that would be 69 years old. My son, who's 25 now. This is the Canadian population. Many more people older, just like your population is going to do. But if you look at the percentage of people with type 2 diabetes, it will raise to 13%. All projections for Canada and the United States have been under-projecting. We just finished a massive 42-hour computer simulation to produce these graphs. You're the first people, other than the Minister of Health for Canada, to see these graphs. And it's a very scary thing because people with type 2 diabetes have 6 times more frequent visits to the hospital, and you don't die quickly from it, you die very slowly from it. It's a tragic disease. Lifestyle interventions can actually half the rate of this, if not drop it to a quarter. So what is physical literacy? Everybody needs to understand this. Literacy has been something, reading and writing has been something that all Americans and Canadians embrace. If you can read and write, you can participate, you can go to school. Literacy is crucial to this is UNESCO's statement. Literacy, reading and writing, is crucial to the acquisition by every child, youth, and adult, and it's an essential life skill to participate in this world. I, as a university professor, have to say, yeah, I'll stand and sing kumbaya to that. I agree 100%. But if you accept that, you must also accept that physical literacy is an essential life skill for all people, not just young, to become physically capable in this world so they can actively participate in our society. That's exactly what we're about. We're one of the key blocks in building physically literate people. Literacy hasn't fixed our health, has it? It's made us knowledgeable with great health care. Knowing does not mean doing, and doing is what we do well. In the end of the day, physical literacy conversations, you all should be champions. Literacy is a skill. ABCs makes words, makes sentences. You can write your mom a birthday card. I write my mom a birthday card every single year. I hand it to her. She reads it, and she closes it just like that. She puts it down and says, "Dean, that was an excellent card, but not yet grammatically correct." I go, "Thanks, Mom." Then I cry. Numeracy or numerical literacy, if you know your 1 to 3s, you can do fractions, you can do equations, and then you can be funded by Red Bull to jump from space. Engineering science, thank you very much. Numeracy, the word numeracy, was created in 1960 for the space race. Reading and writing wasn't good enough, we need math too, yay! Well, let's jump on the physical literacy bandwagon. The best American singer, Justin Bieber. Thank you for taking him, by the way. He does have nice hair like our new Prime Minister, mind you. But nonetheless, you can't do your do-re-mis, you can't become Justin. Physical literacy is just the same. Everybody needs movement vocabulary. Everybody needs to move competently in a bunch of different ways. And if you don't have movement repertoire, you don't have a set of movement skills that you're competent at, you shut the door to sequence them together, you shut the door to do tasks, whether that's in the performance arts, whether that's in circus, whether that's in sport or recreation or activities of daily living. You shut the door. Lego had it right. Lego knows that over 99 you can't be creative anymore. And under the age of 4, you choke on the bits of creativity. I get that. You can't even find this in a Lego store anymore. You know what you find is this, a paint by number kit. It represents our culture of tell me what to do, am I doing it right, give me direction, no ownership, no creativity. Lego has mirrored our society, and that's a scary thing. And it even made me vomit nearly when I looked at this box and it had to say, ideas included. What are we talking about? But if you think of Lego as an analogy for what you deliver in physical education, you can think of it this way. If each Lego block was a movement skill, I wouldn't want to, that's not a great present to give a kid. 4 Lego blocks, what can he do with that? So a gracious kid will go, thank you very much for that gift of 4 pink Lego blocks, and then flush it down the toilet. But in the end of the day, if every one of those Lego blocks is like movement skills, what can you create from that? So do you want every American kid to have that many Lego blocks? No. Do you want that many Lego blocks? No. I want every American Canadian child to have a host of movement skills that they're competent at so they can build the movements that they need to participate in anything from vocation, in the military, firefighters, into recreation, performance arts, or sports, or even just do activities of daily living. We do have an International Physical Literacy Association now. It was born June 6, 2015. We have a birthday party. Yeah. Actually, a huge step forward. We're in year 2 or 3 or 4 of the physical literacy campaign. It took 100 years for literacy to make a change in our culture. It took 20 years to halve illiteracy. We're in year 5 of this campaign. It's not early. Canada's consensus statement, the first country to have a consensus statement, the entire country agreed to it. There it is, Physical Literacy Consent Statement, released June 2015. There's the Google link to it. You can just type it in, download it, and read it. 17 countries endorsed and ratified that, including the United States of America. Now, the basic theme behind it is this. If you have confidence, you can have confidence, and if you have confidence, you are motivated to participate. The result of these discussions in my first visit to Aspen were the following. Project Play was created, and Project Play in Aspen, they accepted a Dutch-Canadian's viewpoint on this and said, yeah, let's do it. I said, way to go, Tom Ferry. Nonetheless, this is a new document called released last June, Physical Literacy in the United States, funded by Aspen Institute. The first time ever Aspen has done something on health, which is pretty impressive. And as a result of that, your US Surgeon General, who I've met 3 times now, said this: I need everybody to speak the language of physical literacy. This is what he said. He said, and this is his own words, he released this June 27, 2015, the most evidence-based man on the face of the planet. I needed him to use those words, and this is what he said. No matter how many sidewalks we build, no matter how many parks we construct, no matter how much we urge people to get involved in physical activity, eat well, exercise regularly, they simply won't do it unless they have the ability, the confidence, and the desire or motivation to participate. And he's right. You deliver that, and that's important. As a result, we say physical literacy should be on equal footing with literacy and numeracy. And that's what we do. It has to be equal footing, equal footing. We have a society right now that is a stop society. It used to be a go society in 1967. We live in the slow kill, inactive thrill world. A slow kill, inactive thrill world. So my friends in Alberta took that slide there and made this. Learning to move is just as important as learning to read and write, and I would argue even more important. In Canada, we have 3 physical literacy assessment tools, the World 0, 3 Canada. Yay, good score. There they are. You can look them up. They're all free and online. There are great things on physicalliteracy.ca. You can find them. In Canada, our phys ed curriculums are explicit on movement skill delivery. This is our curriculum. It says in grade 4, you will be competent at all 18 of those skills. By grade 5, we add a few more. If you have movement vocabulary that you're competent in, it opens the door for participation. If you can throw, you can do this. If you can catch, you can do that. We've measured 25,000 children in Canada, measuring those skills in physical education environments. This is what you get. Here's overhand throw on the vertical axis, from poor to very good. See the boys and girls? This is a shame, and this is going to explain something that's very vital to you. Girls are less active than boys under the age of puberty, 34% versus 48%. That's what we have. I'm going to show you why right now. Our curriculums for movement skills in Canada and the United States say boys and girls will have the same math, same reading ability, same movement skill ability. We both get to vote. Interestingly enough, by age 8 in Canada, United States, Sweden, girls lag behind in competency compared to boys in overhand throwing, even though our curriculum says they should be identical. Interesting enough, if you take another skill like kicking a ball, we see the same graph. We see that girls lag behind boys in competence. Remember, competence leads to competence. Sorry, competence leads to confidence. This is a shame. And if you look at actually all 18 skills, when boys are better than girls, it's on the right-hand side. When girls are better than boys, it's on the left-hand side for 18 skills. Girls are such very good skippers. But the interesting thing here is, look at all the skills. This is 22,000 Canadian kids, the largest assessment of motor skills in the world. And you can actually see here that boys are better than girls. The answer based on our curriculum should be 0 difference. 0. As a result, you close the door to participation for women, and you open the door for young boys. This cartoon is a critical one. You create quality physical literacy experiences in what you do. That's what you do. You create an environment where they can grow their movement skills. If you give them confidence, they get motivation. Here's the graph that we asked. Again, 22,000 kids, look at this. How confident are you to perform activity? After age 8, when girls' competence is less in 14 different skills, girls' confidence tanks. You lose competence, you lose confidence. That evidence is this graph. This one made me cry as a scientist, and this is really not a good thing. This is gender mistreatment at its finest in the United States and Canada. It's persistent to this day. We ask a simple question. I believe that being physically active makes me happier. Not happy down below, happy up above. You're 5-year-old, a drunken little maniac, woohoo! I love activity. I get that. 6 years old, sit down a little bit. At age 8, yeah, that's you. At age 8, girls' confidence lags behind boys. At age 9, confidence tanks. At age 10, 11, 12, 13, girls dissociate happiness from physical activity. This isn't a discussion. This is normative data. If you look at this, see the level 3? Right there. At level 3, it's actually associating unhappiness with physical activity. That's our culture. That is gender mistreatment at its finest. We need to remedy that, and we have. I'm here to tell you we've done 4 large interventional trials to show that you can remedy this in phys ed alone with good lesson planning. It's as simple as that. In the end of the day, because of this, what happens, participation drops. Young women pop their knees 6 times to every 1 boy because the competence to cut and run is not delivered the same way. 6 injuries to 1. We have done 14 randomized controlled trial studies to show that if you actually deliver the competence we should be delivering, girls' ACL injury rates go from 6 to 1 to 1.5 to 1. It's not strength. It's not fitness. It's motor competence and movement. Highly deliverable. So in the end of the day, my last slide here, you should believe in this cycle. That's physical literacy in a nutshell. You deliver fun and challenge. You should be delivering challenge to every person of every ability in your classrooms. Very difficult to do, but possible to do. And if you deliver fun and challenge for competence development, you also teach kids that success and failure go hand in hand to develop competence. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Our children are dejected children thinking that failure is a bad thing and should be avoided. It is everything about getting better. If you deliver a fun and challenging environment with successes and failures seen as both valuable, you make people that are confident. You need to teach people to feel comfortable to move in front of others. Boys and girls should feel comfortable moving in front of others. They don't. As a result of that, we have female-only fitness facilities. They should not exist. They will be needed for the next 100 years because of the fact of the data that I showed you. We'll need them, but they shouldn't exist. Otherwise, you should believe in segregation for math, reading, science. And nobody would say that publicly. I just did, sorry. In the end of the day, free play, our kids suffer from outdoor deficit disorder. And if you don't have free play, you can't tune in your fine motor skills. But if you participate, you have free play, you get creativity, Lego back again. And then if you have creativity, that's your movement. Then you own the movement, then you're motivated. So free play is essential to have. And finally, if you have free play, you develop more competence. Every child in Canada and the United States should feel that they're talented. Not because they're on a podium, but because they own a movement that's theirs. Talent is something that's not podium-based. It's I believe and I can do something and move. So physical literacy is an impression. It's something that's important. It's well documented. It's on fire across this country as well as many others. But it's year 5 in a 100-year campaign, so roll up your sleeves. Thank you very much.
So much.